Ooh, Fast, I just love that intro. Don't we have like the best intros, man? I love that intro. But yo, welcome to another live stream radio podcast episode of A Different Day with Jah and
It's Jah and Neci.
We are streaming live, coming straight to you from the number one station, 101.3 Row FM. We're the number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we will not let you forget it, baby.
No, we won't.
Why you tired? You try and be grown again? You outside all day what
I mean, it was a holiday weekend, and I've been outside every day. So
every day, damn, hot girl summer for real.
Listen, I go to a lukewarm, okay? I could do a lukewarm, and I good. All right? Okay, cool.
Okay.
Room temperature me ASAP. How about that?
I don't blame you. What have you been up to exactly?
Well, I had to work Emancipation Day, so I did. So I had to, by right, I had to get emancipated after work. What did I do after work? That's a good question. I was out Thursday. So I don't remember what's happening in my life anymore. This is crazy. Where did I go Thursday?
I need to be like you.
I went somewhere Thursday night. I know for sure I was out. Oh no, now I know where I went. That was bad.
You get old.
I went into Levels because wifey was cooking and I was hungry. So I went up to support wifey at Levels. Speaking of, I'm gonna say I saw Darren. There he is, afternoon Darren. He was in there. It was a cool, nice, chill vibe. Really cool. I swinged by Corner Pocket because they had karaoke to see what the vibe was. It was popping over there with the karaoke. Really nice. I swung by your favorite spot, Frontline. They had karaoke too.
You said Frontline?
That's your favorite spot, yeah.
That's false advertising.
I don't know. I think that's the first I've heard they done karaoke. But it was interesting. It was interesting.
Big up Frontline.
That's our favorite spot.
She is being facetious when she says that's my favorite spot for Sunday breakfast. She's correct with that. True. I might say you're moving real shy. What, in person? That's what you're talking about, Darren? What? That's what you're on?
I am
what
shy.
Happened? You didn't speak again? You didn't speak to him? Or
no, I said hello to Darren. We even semi-hugged. So, I don't know what he's talking about.
Semi-hugged.
But I was home by 1 o'clock. I was home by 1 a.m. So I was home by 1 a.m.
By 1,
and then,
okay.
Yeah, 1 a.m. And then Friday, I had a lunch for a birthday, which was really great. After that, did a little errands. Then I went down to Frederickstead to support the Rhythms at Sunset 4th of July celebration. They had Kurt Schindler, which actually Kurt Schindler was really good. I was tapping my foot and shaking my head.
What is a Kurt Schindler?
He's an artist, so he's a local artist. He performs and so forth. Very eclectic music. It was really good. After him, there was Vire International who performed.
Okay.
And then after that, they had the fireworks at 8:30, which was really nice. At the end of the fireworks, they had a pause and then they did a silent for all the people that have lost their lives. And then they did a small firework display for Jordan Dutty Hat. His ashes were scattered in part of the fireworks celebration, which I think was an amazing way for him to go. And with support of his family, approved that. So that was really nice to see the little 2-minute display for him afterwards with his ashes and stuff. That was really nice. And then after that, they had Fire Train performed as well. And in conjunction with Rhythms at Sunset, there was Stanley the 10 Sleepless Nights down at Strand Street performing on the waterfront. So there was a shuttle that was taking you from the sunset to Stanley and back and forth. Them old people been in that thing. Them old people been on that little ferry like it was nobody business.
What's wrong with that?
I've been stationary in my little seat, tired of just a little. Them people were hopping around. When you think they use a veteran, you have to reach a certain age of consistent fretting to be a veteran. They were back and forth like it's nobody's business.
That's what's up.
Plus, they trapped the day before.
So even at their age, they're still out and about multiple days. What? I ain't even going out Friday and Saturday.
Multiple days. And
That's
then I was out again last night too. So I went to rehab because I've been hearing about these wings that were super amazing, and I can confirm they are amazing. The wings at rehab is amazing. Did that, passed by this other place. I don't know what the name of it is called. That's the place by Just Right Trucking. It's really outside. It was cool. The music was nice. And then I ended up I was burning time to go support Ambience because I before I got home, because if I got home, I know I was going to leave again to go support Ambience. So I went into town to support Ambience last night. It was a vibe. I didn't leave until after 1-ish in the morning, and I didn't even realize it was that late. That's how much of a vibe I was vibing in Ambience. So yeah, I'm tired. I done. My July fetting has maxed out. I mean, no, I got Tot Wars next week. Hold on. I got to balance out my life.
It's true.
So yeah. So how was your weekend?
Same as last week. I didn't do a got there. I just worked home. Like I worked yesterday. I didn't get home until after 7. So I ain't going on. And then, I just been getting my rest. I'm trying to I realize I don't really go out until I leave. Like other than that, I just walk and gain this money. My bills have to be paid.
True. For me, once I'm already out, I'm good. But if I get home and my foot leave the floor and touch my bed, scratch me off the list.
No, and don't hit me up talking about, hey, let me go, and then it's like, what time? 10. Like we leaving at 10? Nah, I'm all right. Her home said, listen, our elders used to walk miles with big baskets on their head. A little fed is light work to them.
Correct.
Hey, you could say when they were young. They were back in the day and young. We talking about now. When you're in your 50s and 60s. Hey, I impressed by them. Hey, shout out Stanley and them because they did a tramp, did a fed, did a cold.
Man, I just need to know whatever vitamin plan they on, they could sell that and make money.
What to be rum? It's just rum. That's all. I am 98% rum, and that's how I play it with Stanley. Then that's what they're tramping at. What going on, Fifi Santa Cruz? She says she needs to go to Ambience. Everybody.
Let me go, Fifi. We need to go. Fifi, we need to go. It was nice. And what's his name? Oh my god, I was gonna say his real name, but I forgot his DJ name was playing. Party Jesus was playing last night, and it was a real nice vibe. Wow. So big up Party Jesus, who was an Ambience last night. It was real nice.
The man said Stanley, them secret weapon is rum and grown food.
Man, whatever it is they could sell it, I will buy it. I don't mind.
Fifi ready to go with you? If you're ready.
I read it. It's nice. It really was.
I did that the other day for Darren party, and I was like, how old I is I get to be leaving at 10 o'clock?
Correct.
The party.
Me and Fifi were ready to go. We all like, Fifi leaving? Fifi go? Fifi. We are ready to escape because Cinderella Midnight was coming.
Hey, shout out Kita. Kita will be on the same different show.
Hey, Kita.
What? Let me Wednesday. What it is? Kita is like
this schedule. You gotta tell me because I don't even know.
Kita will be on the show next week. Y'all tune in. She got a new album about to drop. Fifi Santa Cruz. Let me go this weekend. Neci, DM Fifi. I arrive like 10-ish. All right, I'm gonna be sleep. I'll have fun.
I gonna FaceTime me from in Ambience, okay? So you could feel like you there with us.
I really can't wait to come home because I do need to check out the spot, and we over here dropping trailers and stuff, and I ain't even seen it, and it looked so dope. Also, the Same Difference cocktail is coming to you live at Ambience Cocktail Lounge too. Working on the rest of it, so look out for that. When you go there, remember to get your Same Difference, all right? Working on it. Yeah, we doing things, man.
I gotta get him to put your drink on your bottle that I got. I gotta get him to add that to the list. Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That's you.
It's true. Yeah, the finest. But we try and make it purple. We try and make the drink purple somehow. So.
Okay.
Listen, I don't ready to be in my house by 9:30. It's my knees. My patience. Listen, if you don't want me,
oh my gosh.
If you don't want me yawning and my head down on the bar, we need to be leaving. Purple drink for Same Difference. Yep, Same Difference coming soon. All right, let's get into this news, man. Let's get things started. If you just tuned in, welcome to another live stream episode of A Different Day with Jah and
Neci. It's Neci.
We there streaming live, coming live to you from the #1 station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, 101.3 Row FM, baby. Hey, everybody in the chat, please go ahead and share the live. Afternoon, there goes your girl. There goes your girl.
Wifey, I get so much compliments on the food. Them birras. We had the birras. Okay, all right.
Look how you get a nickname, and I'm just me.
It's not my father, that's my wifey. That is wifey.
That's what's up.
Everybody knows that. My food to come with the word wifey on it. Like, you don't like.
I'm just John. It's fine.
When I order food, right, John, I don't even tell you what I want. I just send my money, and in the notes, I put wifey, and she know. And she know what I want.
All it gotta be is pasta. Anyway, that's all you want.
It's not just the pasta, but she just know what I want. And I love that. I love that for our relationship.
I agree. Way to her heart is through her stomach. You heard it there.
That is not the way to my heart. Please don't have nobody out here confused.
This is a family show. I can't say what. We can't say what the real.
Wow.
This is a family show.
With friends like you who needs enemies. I can't afford none. Jeez.
Hey, Jess, what you say?
That's crazy.
Good afternoon, Jess. Good afternoon. Thanks for showing up. Hey, if y'all haven't, go back and watch that episode with Jessica featured on it. I think it was episode 31, the one right before here on our YouTube. We can give you how to subscribe to the YouTube so you can watch the full episodes. Yeah, this is a family show. We ain't even cussing.
I wasn't even saying anything not family rated. I don't know where your mind went.
Whatever, girl, whatever. Whatever.
All right. You know, I got to pay my own bills, so I don't want to feel like they buy me a plate of food. Me not entitled to anything. Don't.
No, but we just you're not gonna turn down the plate. That's all we saying. But that ain't the number one way. That's not the quickest path. That's all I'm saying to your heart. That's all I'm saying. Hey, but anyway, DC, what do you say? Can you read this for us?
I can. Oh, Trump signs bill making rum cover overrate permanent at 13.25 in landmark win for the territories. The U.S., VI, and Puerto Rico secured a major fiscal victory as President T signs legislation permanently setting the rum cover overrate at 13.25 per proof gallon, ensuring long-term revenue stability for critical public services and pension funding. I can't read that. Why is it so tiny?
Look, you see why I said women that wear glasses?
But I can't, I can't read that.
When she was trying to read, they were on the top of her head. I can't see that while she's not.
No, I just lifted up. No, I lifted up when the screen changed. I was like, this is too. I can't see that for real. Like, why is it so tiny?
President Donald Trump signed H.R. 1, dubbed one big. Back up on the screen.
I know I'm not drunk or tipsy. I can't read this shit for real.
The One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law on July 4th, securing a historic victory for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands by permanently setting the rum cover-over rate at $13.25 per proof gallon. The provision, please back up for the screen. You're making me laugh. Please back up. Just follow along like the rest of the class, please. The provision, a cornerstone of the tax reconciliation package, ends decades of uncertainty for the territories by ensuring a stable flow of federal excise tax revenues from rum production, projected to deliver over $1 billion collectively to their treasuries over the next decade. Come on now. The move has been hailed as a lifeline for the economic stability of both territories, which rely heavily on these funds to support critical public services and foster job creation. The Rum Cover-Over Program, established in 1917 for Puerto Rico and 1954 for the U.S. Virgin Islands, transfers federal excise taxes collected on rum produced in or imported into the United States to the territories' governments. Under current law, the excise tax on rum is $13.50 per proof gallon, with $10.50 permanently allocated to the territories and an additional $2.75 requiring periodic congressional reauthorization. The new law, effective December 31st, 2025, amends Section 7652 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to make the full $13.25 rate permanent, eliminating the need for temporary extensions that have long created fiscal uncertainty. Now, no one here right now is in a better position, literally, than Neci to explain what the hell I just read. Can you please tell us what that? Wait, let me read these comments first. Jerica Jarvis, straight to business. Siobhan, I can't see either. Another one of the
Okay.
Another squinty.
Okay.
Yeah. LOL. Oh my God, you remind me of myself. Glasses off to read. That is the problem. So, don't slander glasses wearing people because of Neci, man. How you take off your glasses to read? That's why the glasses is the problem.
It was off. No, it was off on the first thing. And when it switched, I did like I couldn't see it, so I did this.
Mm-hmm. So to see better, you took off your eyes. That makes sense. Discrimination. Don't worry, I got you, Neci.
When my screen come off, I left. I just wanted to know. I left.
Seeing Neci trying to read without glasses is comedy. I am howling, bruh. Just squinting and making fun of you. What a thing. Who's squinting? That's my eyes low. My eyes low.
You see? You don't even notice.
Also, the light bright too.
Oh, no. Oh, you can excuse the light bright. Okay, cool. No problem.
Let me just take my eyes out and start reading the rest like you. Get out of here. Jah have it open on another screen.
Correct.
Zoomed in. Don't buy into the facade.
Jerica, I believe you.
Get out of here. Give me the short version, please. I didn't catch that lecture. So Neci is going to break down what the cover over charge is for rum. What is that?
The short answer is what they did is typically they used to have to go back to the Congress to get like extensions for the pricing for the rum cover over. In this instance, it's a fixed price at the $13.25, so they don't have to go back and ask for that. As we heard, it's been in effect since 1950, whatever year you said, for St. Croix, and I think prior to that for Puerto Rico. So what it is anything made in the territory in terms of excise, because everything here is excise tax. If you're a business and you're shipping things in, you have to pay excise tax. So technically, it's just a matter of the funds being reallocated for things made here, going into the Treasury Department for the excise tax for them to spend based on whatever quantity is being produced in the territory, basically. So they're collecting that revenue.
Thank you. So the actual territory is collecting that revenue from it.
Correct. Okay. What they do, how they spend it?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, we ain't gonna go into that. So that was the good news of the day. Like, that was the goodest news I could find.
The fact that the good news contained the current president is crazy.
I mean,
it's been you've been throwing me off my game with the things I've been agreeing on. The last 2 months I've been really second guessing my mentality.
It's not planned though. I mean, things are just crazy right now. Things are topsy-turvy, it seems like.
You get me with Suki. You get me with Candace Owens. Yeah. You get me with Joe. What is Joe Budden? You get me with what's his face? What's the Tucker Carlson? Like, just slow down.
Shares going where though? Are we talking about the taxes? Are we talking about the cover over rate?
It's funding that goes into the Treasury Department. It's not shares.
There we go. Big up Jesse Clark. Hey, big up yourself, man. Neci need to talk to you about something. Yeah,
you need to show me thing. I say you don't show me thing. I say you don't show me thing.
Would have been nice to see an increase from the 80s rate, but good job on securing it permanently. Correct. Yeah, you gotta take the wins, man. Like, it would have been nice for it to increase, especially since you're going to the territory. Now, the next thing is oversight, but I ain't gonna go into that. Nah, Trump's still an ignorant Cheeto. I don't care. I mean, even a broke clock is right twice a day or whatever.
Unfortunately, it is.
One little thing buried into the rest of the bill. We're gonna get into that. Jah is a troublemaker. No, I am not. I am a truth teller.
Correct.
No, I'm not. What trouble I start? When? With what? What? We're reading the cover over rate. So Neci, you don't need to talk to Jesse about something.
I need to talk to him. You need to talk to him. But you know what? I'll do it since you threw me under the bus.
Anyway, moving
and
on.
Just tell him that you said that you need to talk to him, but he sent me to tell you to talk to him.
So I thought this was funny. A man in the Virgin Islands, he actually defended himself and won. Self-represented defendant wins assault case, prompting Senate scrutiny of prosecutors. Despite courtroom outbursts and multiple attorneys withdrawing over hostile conduct, Franklin Xavier beat his assault charge after arguing that prosecutors failed to prove injury, prompting a senator to request the bar results of DOJ attorneys. On Monday, this was the week before Monday, a St. Croix man was found not guilty by a jury after successfully defending himself against assault charges. Franklin Xavier was arrested in January 2024, accused of pepper spraying someone in the face. He was charged with second-degree assault. He was initially assigned a public defender, but soon began filing promotions pro se, claiming that there was a tremendous conflict of interest between himself and the Office of Public Defender. He asked to have a private attorney appointed on his behalf, a request to which the Superior Court agreed. However, like the public defender, that attorney soon petitioned the court to withdraw, citing Xavier's tendency to berate him and his staff with extremely profane and unacceptable language in both English and Spanish. So double cussing. Ja. A second private attorney was appointed on Xavier's behalf, but he reportedly continued corresponding with the court himself, requesting discovery documents. He also sought to dismiss the second private attorney appointed to represent him, but the court was not responsive to that request. In addition to his alleged ill treatment of defense counsel, prosecutors also complained about Xavier's behavior. A motion to the court sought to compel him to only communicate via letter or email. They didn't even want to see this man. As the VIDOJ alleged harassing behavior on his part, abusive phone calls, and in-person visits, as well as sexual harassment of staff. Before the court could rule on that motion, however, Monday's trial date arrived. Despite having to be warned more than once against speaking out loud in the presence of the jury, Xavier successfully argued that prosecutors failed to prove that he had caused injuries to his alleged victim. When all witnesses had been called and questioned and cross-examinations completed, it was 5 p.m. The jury took almost 2 hours in deliberation before returning a unanimous not guilty verdict, and Xavier was a free man. Woo! I don't know if that's good or bad news, but he's free.
Well, you do have a right to self-defend yourself. So he's not doing
Uh-huh.
anything he's not entitled to do. And it seems like he know enough about a lot to have done it, even though it was not up to standard with the cursing and the imagine
Correct.
getting cussed in English and Spanish. Like that is crazy walk in the first of all. That's crazy. But he did it and he won. So I don't necessarily want to say that it's like to make it seem like the prosecutors aren't up to par, like the senator, whoever senator is requesting like the bar results, because not because a person is an attorney, it doesn't mean that they're not knowledgeable in law to have been
True.
able to have defended themselves. So I don't want to undermine the man because he defended himself, nor am I going to undermine the attorneys who actually went to law school. Like that doesn't mean that both aren't on the equal feet. One just has a degree and one don't.
True. So it does make me wonder. Jessica says good job on his behalf. They said his behavior was bad, but he won. So is it him or our current system? Crazy read, my son. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, are they requesting the information about the DOJ representatives because they did such a bad job? Did he win because he was good at it, or because they did so poorly? You get what I'm saying?
If I don't know, because if you're saying if the jury is saying that he won unanimously, by the way, I would think that okay, he doesn't have the court decorum, maybe in the way he was speaking, or some of the words he was using to ask questions, because there's a specific way you have to ask questions and behave yourself in court. We all know that. So maybe he don't have that polished look to him, and maybe he's very raw in how he speaks. Some people are very raw when they speak. So he's not polished, right? But it doesn't mean that he's not knowledgeable. And so for him to have defended himself to the point where they went through all the witnesses and they were all cross-examined, he have to have known what he was, some kind of ground what he was doing. And the jury deliberated and none of it was, okay, he didn't make sense. It's that he made a good point and he won.
True. And yeah, that's all true. I agree with you 100%. The thing about it is to like, so for him to get off unanimously, that means that the jurors all agreed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I mean, they can't say it was no bias or nothing like that. So, I mean, congratulations to that man. That's all I can say. Like, congratulations.
Juries have to go based on the facts presented. Usually behaviors are usually stricken from the record, or the judge will be like, they would give them direction. So, but it has to be based on factual representation. So
the use of pepper spray is illegal in the VI. So did they try to prosecute him based on the wrong charges? Like, did they not put that in there and that's why he got off scot-free? Because how you prosecute is a big deal too. You know what I'm saying?
True.
As he tried to prove and did that there wasn't injury. But if they're saying the use of pepper spray is illegal, then that means he wasn't even charged for that day.
But I would find that if somebody's like pepper spray stuff, people have that on their little keychains or whatever. Yeah. It would be like a misdemeanor to take it to trial. I would think I don't know what the charges are to speak on it. But for me, if there's a trial, it has to be something else more serious than a pepper spray, is what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you, Jess, for even letting us know, because a lot of people did not know that pepper spray is illegal. So thank you for that.
I did not know either.
But it looks like no pictures of injuries to the victims is very dangerous. God ain't created us all to be acting the same. That's the thing, right? When he walked into the courtroom and then he started acting crazy, they already had an image. And there's already this assumption that a man that tries to represent himself in court is crazy. So he was already fighting those biases, but he whooped on him and he won. So they might have not charged him. That's what I'm saying, because he walked away scot-free. It's clear that he did pepper spray them. But he tried to fight the fact that they're not injured, or you ain't proved that they're injured. So he got away, and then again, they didn't slip that in there. So hey, that's on them. The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of the broadcaster.
Where is this going? Oh my God.
No. I just want to put that out there to keep in mind that anything that we say, we're responsible for, and not the broadcaster 1013 Raw FM. All right?
Gotcha.
Jessica says, I like to read the probable case on this case. She spent a lot of time in law enforcement, so she knows what she's talking about. It's crazy they make it hard for people to legally defend themselves, but it's easy for people to get illegal guns to shoot. Yeah, logic, my son. Shaking my head. Hey, a criminal gonna always break the law, so it don't matter what law they put in place.
Why we can't never focus on the one thing at hand? Why we always have to counter it with something else that's happening? I mean, saying the other thing ain't happening and it ain't really now. At least
them two things were closely linked. They were in
the same department, not in the same office.
Being in the same aisle. She said, Dara, come again, try again. The thing was in the same store, just not the same aisle.
Yeah, that's in different aisles. Yeah, that's where the toothbrush and the grapes there. You gotta go 2 different places for that.
I don't know. I get where you were coming from.
I get where you're coming from too.
It makes sense. It's closer than some comparisons he has given. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I didn't say he makes sense. I just said, well, we can't just focus on the one thing. I think he can't have time. Since he said maybe he's shy and stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the man said you'd be shy when you be giving church hugs and things.
He should be he even gained one.
Oh.
So I'm not the hugger, so
I know. They don't. Can you read this story for me?
Let me see my glasses gonna work this time. Hold on.
Oh God.
Wait, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Governor Albert Bryan Jr. plans to summon the legislature to a special session in order to discuss 3 priority legislative proposals: self-funded insurance for government employees, a prohibition on shifting legislative collective retirement pensions from previous government employment, and allowing current government workers to run for public office. That is not right.
That's not what.
Self-funding insurance, Mr. Bryan said, means the creation of a pool of money with which insurance premiums will be paid instead of the carrier paying the premiums. This is expected to result in savings of over $30 million each year, the governor said, claiming that legislative inaction on this has already cost the government some $50 million this year in savings. Governor Bryan said lawmakers must now create a special task force to assess and send out an RFP for a broker that can carry our insurance through Cigna, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, I don't know, it's like Atia? I've never heard that one. One of these major carriers, and get it done post haste. He assured Virgin Islanders that nothing would change on the consumer end. It will not affect anyone's access to their doctors nor their coverage, Governor Bryan promised. The special legislature session would also be convened to debate legislation to prohibit senators from collecting retirement benefits while serving in office. Governor Bryan said calling the proposal one that would create parity among lawmakers. How can it be that we have 9 retired senators collecting their retirement benefits and their check? Mr. Bryan said, the status quo creates a scenario where some lawmakers are earning the statutory $85,000 in annual salary, where others are taking home $150,000 in salary and pension payments, the governor said. Only they can do this. Not even the governor could hold any other office and collect their pension. The final proposal for the special session would be to strike down the law banning government workers from continuing their duties while running for the legislature. All of them are government employees and they work the whole time while they're running. Governor Bryan said to a set of senators, they travel from St. Thomas to St. Croix, go wherever they want on the government funds while campaigning, he asserted. Why shouldn't everyone be allowed fair compensation? Such an amendment to current law would encourage broader participation in elective politics, a benefit to the territory, Governor Bryan urged. We definitely need a fresh look at who's at our legislature to really come on terms with what people are dealing with. Why can't I see the first word? What's the first word, Josh? Something weather.
You ain't serious.
No,
Asked.
it's blacked out from the timer. I can't even move it.
Asked.
Asked whether he expects to find support among lawmakers for measures that would, for some, reduce their own income and the power of incumbency. Governor Bryan responded in the affirmative. This is about what is the right thing for the people. I trust that they're going to see that, he said. He also anticipated support for his proposal to reform how insurance for state employees works. We already lost the opportunity this year. We have to quit cracking. He meant crackling, so we can get it in place as soon as possible.
We have to get quick cracking. I don't know what that means.
I think he meant crackling, maybe, so we can get it in place as soon as possible.
So, do you believe that this is in the people's best interest?
So he's talking about three different things, right? And so let's tackle the insurance first. I don't agree that self-funded insurance is the right thing to do.
Correct.
Right now, if my insurance carrier right now is paying my premium on my behalf, and I am in turn paying back into it per my paycheck is being deducted to pay it back, that's already set. If the goal is for me to pay upfront into a fund and then have them filter the funds down, I don't trust the government to do that. I don't trust the government to do that.
Most people will not be able to afford that.
No, they won't. So, and I think what they should have been doing, and they should do, is one of the Virgin Islands' biggest costs is they're a proactive insurance carrier, meaning they have to do more proactive cases than reactive cases. So people are more using the insurance for emergencies than for preventative services.
Correct.
So the majority of the workforce, I think it's less than 50%, are going to do their annuals and getting their testing done, and so they're not even making the regular quota. From my reading, maybe it's wrong information. I have no problem being corrected. So if you don't have your workforce in a whole not participating in the low cost saving measures, and the majority of the funds is being spent out for emergencies, it is going to put a strain on the system, and it's going to impact the cost of the system.
Correct. Because if you don't know already, the way any insurance works, the healthy, or when it comes to like car insurance, the safe drivers, those are the ones that are paying for the unhealthy ones. You get what I'm saying? So like the less people in the system, the more your premium is going to go up. So I have no idea why he thinks this is a good idea.
And maybe they're not looking at it from that standpoint. I don't know. And I don't want to speak because I wasn't a part of how they reviewed the data and come to this conclusion. Yeah. But that has any insurance policy, that step has always preventative care. It is your most important tool to have in any insurance fund. I think if they run a hard campaign to ensure every department goes out to do the preventative care, if you have a day with Department of Health where each department goes out and get their annuals done and whatever, that itself would be more proactive than what they're trying to do. I would not trust them to pay out in the time it needs to happen. I rather them being reimbursing the carrier than for them to have to pay out on my behalf. They're already having fiscal irresponsibility in so many areas, and we've been having them for a while, so it's not just this governor alone, and they're trying to clean it up, but it still continues to happen. I would not want to add another mechanism on something such as important as your health and your insurance that can happen. Imagine I'm paying for insurance and I go to the hospital, I need to be flown out. I can't flow because the bill ain't paid. The helicopter ain't coming. Like, that's not the kind of scenarios I want to happen for me when I'm paying for something that should be available to me.
Nobody wants that. Nobody.
Exactly. Like, nobody deserves that.
You don't want to pay for no helicopter ride or the let me read these comments real quick. Jessica says, people are so pressed to legally carry a firearm, not knowing the responsibility. Keita says, pepper spray should be legal in terms of defense, though. I agree. Most women carry that on their keys already.
Correct.
My daughter has a taser. Donald Bryant Jr., big, beautiful plan. Seeing Neci without her glasses twice in one day. Let me play the lotto. Keto Puleon, this is what I was alluding to. Yeah, the big, beautiful bill. Darren Bear Georges, play her ballot number 66. There's Venice. Always, never misses a chance. Why you have Neci so close to the screen? Me? I told her to back up.
The thing's so small on my phone. I have to like lean in to see. I don't know why.
This yeah small? That's small?
On my end. On my end. I'm not disputing what you're seeing, but on my end. And then what happened is the word I asked you to read, the timer was like over the word, so I couldn't see the first word.
You on your phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. On the phone, I'm always on.
We need that bigger screen for you, though.
I'm gonna use my tablet next time.
In the chat while we're reading this, I want to know: if you were listening to the governor's plan, we know this has come on the heels of the senators unanimously voting down the pay raises for the governor and lieutenant governor. Do you think this is just a petty move? Tell us in the chat. Do you think this is a petty retaliatory move, or he actually is thinking about his constituents?
For the insurance, or for the second part where he discussed the
second part for sure, but even I don't know, even the insurance, because government workers, if I'm not mistaken, they were given a raise, right? They were approved for a raise.
Yeah.
So is this retaliation towards them? You get what I'm saying? Like, let us know in the chat what you think. Pepper spray.
I think that's wrong, though. That's my opinion. It's wrong. You can't tell me that I work to the government for 20 years, 25 years, and I've put into my pension and I've earned my retirement because I did my 25 years, and I've retired. And I've retired and I feel like, you know what, I still have a lot to give. I could, for my community, I want to still be a public steward, blah, 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 and run for some form of public office. And then I can't get my pension that I have already earned paid out to me because I'm running for another public office. Is that what? Because the governor don't get it? Is the problem the governor don't get it?
He made it clear that the governor is not allowed to. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when he says it, man, damn, I couldn't find that video. Because when he says it out loud, it just sounds petty. It just sounds like, but the governor can't do it. You know what I mean? But, bro, come on. Jessica said, go ahead.
No, just okay. He can do so, we can do too. Okay, cool.
Pepper spray is a chemical which can cause damage to your sight if you are not trained to use it correctly. I went through the training, and you don't want to get pepper spray. Trust me.
No.
Quick story time. When I was in the 3rd grade, this girl that lived around my way, I used to carry pepper spray because I used to get bullied, and she asked me if I could spray her, and I did.
For Hannah?
I sprayed her in the face, and yeah, she went home that day. Jessica Ventura, which is so interesting and surprised. She asked me though. She did ask consent, which is so interesting and surprising. It's illegal. Most gas stations sell it. Fact check. Maybe the ones I went to. Oh, brass knuckles are illegal also. I've been thinking about that. I just realized I have some. Thanks, Fifi. That soon as possible means my partner them at the insurance place go move on if I can't get this done. What do I want to mean?
I don't know what I meant.
I know they sell it. There was a case where someone used pepper spray on someone and they were defending themselves and ended up getting arrested. Even after you defend yourself?
But I didn't even know that. I don't know how much. I don't know if that's public knowledge. I don't hear them saying that or advertising that.
No.
When they're showing me the guns and the knife and the this, they don't ever show me pepper spray. I don't recall seeing pepper spray.
All governor was looking at was saving the government $30 million. I think it's more to it. I wish they would look more into how. There have to be another way that we could save some money, Mr. Preventative care, yes. He wasn't concerned about the details. Jessica Ventura, wow, that's crazy, but the more you know. The same government that failed to remit money deducted from employee checks to Carlos Furniture and Beeston Hill Gym. Blessings, Ayo. Yo, what good, what good? That bill is ridiculous. It is. It's a petty move. They're saying it's a petty move. Yes, it is. It's retaliatory behavior.
Mm-hmm.
What's the governor's zodiac sign for research purposes? He gotta be one of them petty signs. He had cancer, ain't he? I thought it was a cancer or something.
I have no idea.
No, not petty governor and his sidekick. Don't miss his sidekick. It was definitely a bait and switch. The man said the governor is a Leo. I'll explain the pride. I'll definitely explain it. The crazy part is he's getting paid out of the general fund for the rest of his life. Yes, he is. Because I voted for him again. No, he's a Pisces. Really? You sure? Damn. When I went through my training, I had an allergic reaction. TF Jah, like, what kind of third grader was you? They said I was a troublemaker. You heard it. So wait, if you run and gain that retirement, so wait, if you run and gain that retirement, should be put in your pay until you retire, meaning that your pension plus your pay in one. If I earn my retirement, I earn my retirement. That like
how you gonna pass my retirement checks to don't pay me because I didn't doing public? I doing another job after I retire. I think that's unfair.
I think so too. But if it's not being done across the board, then yes, it is unfair.
Okay.
Jessica, one thing about Pisces, they will teach you what pain really is. 6+ years or with what. But they vote. Okay. What kinky stuff is? A February Pisces. The government.
Miss Chivonne? Them there? Them there?
I don't disrespect cancers like that again. I didn't know. I got confused, I guess. Darren, it checks out that Pisces PTSD. He appear a fish that out of balance. No yin, no yang. No, he can't be a Leo, bro.
He is a Pisces.
Elections have consequences. Exactly. I think developing it too, because you are not retired, you are still working. But you earned it.
No, like public service is different though, because anyone can run for for those seats. It's a public servant. So private people in the private sector keep their businesses that they have when they run for public office, don't they?
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So on to from the VI Trump to the real Trump. Here's the big bill. Trump on 4th of July signs one big beautiful bill to implement his agenda. President Trump bangs a gavel after signing the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law during an Independence Day military family picnic on the South Lawn of the White House on Friday. President Trump on Friday signed a massive spending and tax bill that the White House has dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill to implement much of his domestic policy agenda. The bill passed Thursday after Republican leaders in the House of Representatives convinced holdouts in their own party to get in line behind the controversial legislation. I can say very proudly that our country is more proud right now than it has been in many, many years. Trump said during a military family picnic for the 4th of July, the last 2 weeks, there's never been anything like it as far as winning. The legislative effort fulfills key campaign pledges that Trump made during his re-election bid, including making hefty tax cuts passed during his first term permanent, but it violates a key promise too. Trump promised repeatedly during the campaign not to touch Medicaid benefits, the joint federal and state program that provides health care for more than 70 million low-income, elderly, and disabled Americans. House Republicans passed the bill by a vote of 218 to 214, nearly entirely along party lines. All 212 Democrats voted in unison against the bill, and they were joined by 2 Republicans Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania. Leaders were forced to work all night to win the votes necessary to pass a bill and meet Trump's demand to sign the bill by July 4th. The sprawling GOP bill, clocking in at nearly 1,000 pages, represents a dramatic realignment of the federal government's role in American life, shifting resources from the social safety net and investments in clean energy and reorienting them to finance trillions of dollars in new spending on tax cuts, immigration enforcement, and national defense. Trump was heavily involved in selling the bill to skeptical lawmakers. Trump also weighed in repeatedly on social media, demanding that lawmakers finish the job. Now, like you heard there, could affect about 70 million people, taking away their health care. It increases the national debt by about $4.5 trillion. Was it worth no tax on tips, only to get taxed later on anyway? And then when you're making under a certain bracket, I can't remember the specific number, I'll look it up, you get taxed at a higher tax bracket. And it's not the rich ones. They're decreasing their taxes. Was it worth it? Let me guess, Neci, you ain't got nothing to say on this one. Okay.
I am just sad for the people who genuinely need the services that are not going to be impacted, and that will impact their health, their well-being, their homes, and it is not going to be pretty, and my heart goes out to those people that's going to be impacted. It's specifically our seniors and our disabled community that depends on the Medicaid services, and that is just going to be a very hard thing to watch.
All right, so Jerica with the facts, she always on point. Single, 75,000, married, 150,000. So if I'm not mistaken, those are the ones that yours will increase. Is that right? All right. That was a 4th of July gift to America. That big, beautiful bill, we're going to feel the effects of it for years to come, maybe an entire generation. And that's about how long it will take to reverse it. Don't just think that the next president gonna come in and reverse everything. Fast. I feel bad for the disabled and elders under Medicare, shaking my head. Scratch that, I feel bad for everyone affected by this bill, because all of us are gonna feel it in some way, shape, or form, really. The cuts to Medicare will immediately affect our territory's hospitals. That is 70 to 75% of the revenue for VI hospitals. Be prepared to lose some specialties. Like we have a lot now. What? Ain't too long ago we read about there was only one anesthesiologist. So when they go on vacation, like, don't get sick. Yeah. Let's move on because it gets depressing. Diddy! Take that. Extracts, I read all about it. Diddy is found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges in Cassie Ventura trial. Sean Diddy Combs has been found guilty in a split verdict of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. His attorneys seem to count this as a win and are trying to get him released today. He faces up to 10 years for each count. 10 years each. So he's facing up to 20 years on those 2 counts. So yeah, he didn't get that RICO charge, didn't go through. They didn't find him guilty for, what was it? What was that big charge? Sex trafficking?
The RICO and the sex, yeah, that was the 2 big charges.
Trafficking and racketeering, they didn't find none of that. I think that they forced through this trial.
I think they forced the charges. RICO charges is really like for people who like them big drug mule that like that's where RICO charges are coming. Like usually. This did not scream RICO when everyone who testified stated that they did so willingly. Yeah.
And even
no one said it was. I mean, things happened against people. Yeah. Things happened, but it was not like, for me, you have to prove that you snatched a person and you're forcing them to do this. Like that's not what happened in this case. And for me, I thought it was a waste of the people's time. If they had a better chance with the domestic violence, but it wasn't a domestic violence case.
No.
Because she already she settled that, so it's not that.
It seems like the RICO charges, because they're like a catch-all, it seems like they're using those RICO charges a lot more often. Like how YSL just got off scot-free on that RICO charge.
And he had a better case for RICO than this Diddy case.
Exactly. So what's going on? They're just doing it, and they ain't really collecting any evidence. Like from the time Cassie got up on that, got up there and testified, it was strange because it's like, whose side is she on? You know what I mean?
They needed to use her to establish the connection of the sex trafficking. But I don't know if they didn't cross-examine her properly, because to me, she didn't really sell it 100%. But there were things that happened that I could see that was wrong. Like there's a lot of things that he's guilty of. I ain't trying to make this man seem like he guilty of some stuff. But I did not feel like the RICO could have gone either way. But I don't think that the defense actually, the prosecution actually really laid out like a definitive RICO case that was like this, like you can't misread into this. You know what I mean? And so I think there was a fault in their charges for that. That's my viewpoint on it. But yeah, the judge didn't let him out. He got sit in jail till sentencing. They're talking about like, instead of 10 years, they're talking about settling for like 36 to 60 months, which is about 5 years. Some of it might be with time served. So maybe he'd have to do like a year or two. But it was an interesting case to watch. And correction, they only found 53 bottles of baby oil in the house. This where we find this 1,000, where we get this 1,000 bottle of baby oil thing from? I don't know, but the kid, that was a false statement.
So they exaggerated.
That was corrected in court in terms of the quantity of baby oil. Yeah, what had Diddy? Oh, he looking like he co-owned Johnson and Johnson. I mean,
hey, hold on now. Johnson and Johnson stocks did dip. You know what I'm saying? Like after they caught that, but he was putting their numbers up. He was putting
what
numbers
I'm
up.
saying is they should did, but they made it seem like he co-owned Johnson and Johnson, that the delivery truck would come to his house every day. Like it was not. How we gonna 50 to 1,000 bottles? That's a big difference.
Listen, maybe they found something in a storage or something. That's still like I really still believe this man was buying them by the pallet.
53 total bottles is what they found
in the house, in one of his homes. That's a lot still. With the rest,
there was no more.
That's all they found. Period for this whole
53
case.
isn't egregious if you're doing things that make you consume them in a large quantity. If you're using it for yourself personally, a whole is one thing.
DC 53 is not a.
No, what I'm saying, it is like for us. What I'm saying is he was doing things with like people. They were groups.
You see, you gonna have the people watching you like, hold up.
Yeah, this man had people like every day.
Yeah.
Like groups of people every day.
So 53 ain't about it.
I mean, it's a lot, but I'm saying is he's using a large quantity. There's people every day. Every day.
All right. The freakouts did last.
I'm trying to be as politically correct, right now.
The freakouts did last days. I don't know, 53.
Correct.
I don't know, man. That seems like a huge number still.
And it was when you come in, you don't leave until the 3 days up or whatever. Like, it's like.
Diddy doing some time. Not sure how long, but me think he leave in jail.
I think he's gonna do some time.
Jessica disagrees as far as let's know.
Probably the RICO situation. Like I don't think he met the case, but that's my opinion.
I really believe they knew they didn't have a RICO case. I believe they used the trial to embarrass Diddy and to expose him. It was to humble him, in my opinion.
I don't agree with that.
I don't. That thing to be expensive. To go up against a billionaire is very expensive to do. Mm-hmm. So you should. These are the type of cases you shouldn't use for sport. You know what I'm saying? Because this man has $1 million lawyers, and he could keep going. Even while he's in jail, the money's still there. So usually the reason why they hit us over the head for small crimes and a lot of white collar crimes get slaps on the wrist is because it's so expensive. That's the same reason they hit the middle class and lower class harder with taxes, because the upper classes know how to hide the money, and if they gotta go to court, they're gonna fight them and it'll be expensive. So I don't know if they could just throw away a RICO case on this one like that. A billionaire? You know what?
I mean, I could see where they thought that they were building a connection.
Yeah.
My only thing is, to the men out there listening, y'all stop fluing out these girls. Can you see how these things will come back to you in these kind of charges? Because all they was doing fluing them around in his jet from coast to coast in different, different area codes.
True. City Boy's up with this one. City Boy's up. She want to get flued out. I can't since that trial. There you go. He that says people who celebrating is weird. Listen, I vexed. That's on me. I should have had this video queued up, but
I'm so happy you don't.
We posted a video where his supporters, Diddy's supporters, were outside of the courtroom, outside the courthouse, just dousing himself in baby oil and celebrating. Y'all weird, bro. Y'all.
But I think, Jah, they have that for everyone. Like, even serial killers, they have their fan base, right? Of people, like women who come to the court. So yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, like, it's like everyone has their fan base.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate and it is sad.
It is. And then, like, with that guy Wade Wilson, who had killed multiple Florida women, right? Unalived. He had unalived multiple Florida women. And then there were women like starstruck over him. And I'm like, how do you say women are unprotected, and then a man that unalived a bunch of them, you talking about how tall and sexy he is? That's weird.
He got marriage proposal. He got money on the books. He got the.
Jessica says, a wealthy man who damaged women gets a slap on the hand. We gonna see. Jessica thinks that he will get time served. They're gonna give him time served. I
believe he's gonna get time served too. I don't. It's time served or 1 to 2 years, like additionally. Like, I don't see it being that long-winded. But what I wanted to just say is, like, I don't think it's a slap on the wrist. I think that they charged him with the wrong things. We know what he's guilty of. We've seen the evidence. We've seen the videos. We heard the testimony. This man is guilty of a lot of shit. Like, he needs to be somewhere. But if the charges were like domestic violence and those type of things, yeah, just close the book, skip the jury, and just send him where he belongs. But that's not what the case was primarily about.
Darren says, I think he spent 60 mil on defense. And think about that, right? That's 60 mil to a billionaire. That's a drop in a bucket. For the system, though, that's not a good look.
Which is why he settled for the 20 with Cassie.
Check.
This is why we talked about it the other day about when people settle, it's not in his case, it is guilt, right? He is guilty. But not every time somebody settles is necessarily an admission of guilt. It is the cost is a big factor in whether you settle or you push to trial. And so that's just where that comes in, the number wise, how it looks like. Because yeah, it's expensive.
And we're still waiting to see what's gonna happen with our boy, Shannon Sharp. See what's going on here.
Her case crumbling by the wayside really quickly, so I hope we'll see for her.
I haven't heard anything since. Diddy just proved it might be less expensive to be married than to be doing freak-offs and being with women half your age. If a woman got with Diddy and then divorced him, she would have took half. So I don't know if it's still less expensive. You get what I'm saying? Like,
his tendencies is not going to change because he's married.
Yeah, he still want to pee on some people.
Right, John.
He still want to pee on some people, regardless, at the end of the day.
So here's what I think. So we're calling it the freak offs, right? Because I don't know who labeled it, but that's what. But them white tees that be trying them little swinger party. We don't call them nothing like, oh, they have a swinger party, like, you know?
Yeah. And they be big and rich, and you know what I'm saying? They have names.
They be out on the yachts and everything on the. They're doing exactly what he do. Maybe not all the things he's doing personally, but they be having the little on the boat and you know at the parties and the whatever. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like like they get a cute name and then he get like the freak offs over here, but you know. He on wherever he on it. He should have done settle with Cassie before this even happened. He should have. The guy sitting on this video for what I don't know from the hotel, like.
Keita says, I do feel bad for Diddy's younger kids. Like, how do his daughters feel? I know I about watch King Combs. I watch it. Like, because I think he gonna have a documentary in about 5 years too. I do feel bad because they have nothing to do with it. So you know, regardless, it's always the children that mix up in it. What I really want to know, Young Miami proved that you could really just shut up sometimes and like skate. This man was paying her $250,000 a month to be his girlfriend and be quiet. And what did she do? Be his girlfriend. Be quiet. Learn Dallas. How about that one? Because she has not been named yet. She been living her life. We ain't talk about that there. You think she ain't seen nothing? While she was with him and he was getting other women pregnant, and you don't think some freak outs were going on? Hey, let that be a lesson to you. Shut up. Shut up sometimes. Young man, hey, I don't want hush money and stuff. She got her hush money and she hush. That's the thing. If they give you hush money, hush.
They want to take the money and still talk at the same time.
Like, should I tell his wife? Shut up, hush. That's what you should do. It's hush money. But anyway, we're going into the second half. Shouts out once again to our benefactor, 101.3 Row FM, the number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You know, we like to do the news first, get that out of the way, and then we go into some trending topics. We did make some promises, so promises getting kept. We said that we would talk about saying no, remember? Not saying no, asking for help, but asking for help. So we want to get into that. Now, in the chat, how many of you in the chat, just put a hand or something, let us know how many of you have trouble asking for help. If you do have trouble asking for help, do you know why? I mean, do you know why you have trouble asking for help, Neci?
I don't like to, because for me, I feel like I don't like to be a burden to people.
Okay.
And I also feel like I usually always have things figured out. So why I can't figure this out? Right? And so, but I also know it's a mentality that is embedded in us from small, like, you know, like the secrecy of things and not being able to just express yourself and talk about things and having public discussions with your parents or your siblings and so forth. You don't realize how impactful those things will be as you become adults. And so I feel like sometimes the lack of, no fault to my parents or my family or anything, but just the lack of conversations about things that you might be curious about or you're unsure about. And so we don't ask for help. We don't talk about it. We don't ask questions. And then we have to just, nobody needs to know and nobody needs to find out. And sometimes nobody does. But there are things that are just out of our control and it is too burdensome and we allow it to consume us. And then when it all falls over is when we have to cry out for support. And sometimes that's too late for some people and other times it's a lot. And sometimes it takes a longer time for some of us to catch ourselves and get back to some type of normalcy. So it's a lot of different things for me. But I see it's a common theme amongst other people that I know have a hard time asking for help.
Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it. For me, I think it comes from me being the oldest. That comes with its own responsibility. I am the eldest of 9, for those that didn't know. And when you're the oldest, it's almost like you're the second or the third parent, depending on, how many parents you have in the household. Because you're just kind of expected to look out for the other ones, which you end up doing for everyone else and like putting yourself second. You know what I'm saying? Like that first child is sometimes the experiment baby, and the younger ones get treated better. So you're helping them come up doing things for them that you may not have even had. So you kind of fall into a position or a role, and then you take that on into life. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does the oldest ask for help? You get what I'm saying? And like, I think that stuck with me heavy, being the oldest one, and being put in that responsibility is just me and you, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta step up and doing that as a child. So yeah, for those that don't know, Marcus is my brother. Who the F got treated better? We're not gonna do this during the show, but we ain't gonna hear out all of this. But yeah, it was definitely you. But carry on. So I think that followed me throughout life. Like, I always had to do things first and fail on my own, and it was like, who do I ask? And then it makes it worse when you ask and they don't come through. They don't come through for you, or like that one time somebody didn't do it right or do it for you. Like, all right, I done. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like you whatever happens, I got to face it, and it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was very hard, and there was a level of shame that I felt. Like, I shouldn't even be here. I shouldn't be in this position. And to have to ask for help, that was like, it would tug on my heartstrings. You know what I'm saying? To even have to ask. So, and I'm to the point where, like, asking twice, I feel like I'm begging you to. Like, if I got asked it again, and I know you heard me, I don't care if it's me asking you back for my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I loan you money and I got asked you back twice, I feel like you're disrespecting me. So it's been something with me, I think, started from being the oldest, and that level of shame that I've learned that we have to kind of shake off. Yeah. Because like, we have to shake it off. I'm not saying begging. I ain't saying all of it gonna come off, right? I ain't saying that like after you shake out the dandruff, you're gonna have a clean shut again. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's something that we definitely have to work on and learn how to ask for help, because it's not a bad look on you. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying that there is a difference between asking for help and begging. I ain't gonna even listen. I will not be explaining further. Y'all know what begging look like. So that was it for me. Marcus gonna say, how you gonna mute when we having an emotional moment? I thought we were being vulnerable. You doing too much from the comments. You're doing too much, sir. You're doing too much. I would have helped you, bro. It's my younger brother. I admit I didn't understand kinship and let you down on numerous occasions when you've looked out for me, for sure. Oh, man. Marcus, that's not how it works. Being the oldest is different. Much is expected without a lot of help. It's true.
Yes.
And the time apart and only visiting on the weekends didn't help me understand brotherhood. I'm the child of an eldest, and let me tell you, the trauma she transferred because of what you described, I thought it was shameful to ask for help. That happens too, like I said, you being the oldest, you get put in this position or role as an extra parent. So you're trying to instill these things into your younger siblings. Depending on the family structure, they may not be that much younger than you. You try and teach them about life when you ain't figured it out on your own. So you're passing down these traumas like, don't be asking nobody for nothing. What wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? But you yourself, you don't know no better. You're doing it out of love. And it's what you know at that stage. So you shouldn't be ashamed for it. but it's definitely something that we need to talk about, especially in our community. Asking back for your money does feel like begging for real, and you really see the real nature of people. That's why I stopped loaning money. I give it or I don't have it. Like, I don't like to go around on people for no money, man. I hate asking. I don't like to ask for money, yet alone having to ask back for my own. Before me and you fight, just here. You know what I mean? Like, here you go. Don't come up. I'm the youngest from my father, and I got the least support of all his kids. Darren is our youngest child. Could you tell?
We're so surprised.
Could you tell? Hey, you want a good relationship? Get you a youngest. Them youngest children and the only children. So I got this video, and this I can't remember if he's a pastor or not, but this Christian man thinks he has it figured out why he had so much trouble asking for help. Let's see who agrees with it.
So if you're one of those people that you prefer to do everything by yourself, and you have a hard time allowing people to help you, I'm going to tell you why. My name is Mike. I'm a Christian life coach, and I help people get to the root of their issues so they can live the life that God wants them to live. I came to this realization one day after my wife asked me, "Why won't you let me help you?" I own a business, and honestly, I would just prefer to do things by myself, but I had to really sit and think about why am I this way? And what I discovered was that through my upbringing, I was very independent. I worked at a young age. I was able to do things on my own, save up money to purchase my first car, all these kinds of things at a very young age. And through this independence that I gained, I was pretty successful with doing everything by myself. And now I bring this into every area and facet of my life. And so what I want you to understand is that many times if you are in this predicament, it is because you often may not have had other people to rely on. You've had to do everything by yourself. And so now you would just rather do that because you trust you and you may not trust other people. So in order to interrupt something, you have to understand the why behind what you are doing. So I hope you have a better understanding of why you may want to do everything by yourself and not rely on anyone else, and have some strategy to be able to break through that. You cannot do everything by yourself. It will run you ragged. You will be burnt out easily if you think that you can live your entire life existence with doing everything on your own. It's not healthy, and it's not what successful people do.
He said something that I think was important. Hopefully y'all were listening. He said because he was successful at it. I don't know if when you're in the mindset of I gotta do it myself, if being successful helps you. The reason why I say that, because when you're successful at doing it alone, you have a hard time relinquishing control to others, because you know what I do works. And when you're like in a situation where you're the oldest, that might be a negative for you, because remember, you have nobody to compare your path to. You don't have an older sibling that you live with that can see how their life is going to compare how you're doing too. So even though you may be successful, you could have been more successful if you had asked for help or teamed up with other people, but you wouldn't know that because you always do it yourself. Not saying that you'd be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could have gotten further, but again, you have nothing to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that video?
I mean, I think, yeah, that's his truth, right? In terms of how he's lived and was able to do that. And I think the other reality for a lot of us is that we have to be independent at very young ages to doing things on our own as children, like, you know, washing my own clothes and ironing and getting to school and getting home. And there was a sense of independence where I didn't have to ask for things. I had to just learn how to do things and function. And so sometimes in the state of having to do and figuring it out, like, what's for dinner tonight? And you just be like, your mother be like, just figure it out. She got work tonight. You got to make something for you to eat and for your siblings. You just have to figure it out. So you stop asking after a while. You figure, I need to wash. Let me go wash my clothes. Blah, blah, blah. Let me get iron. Let me put the dishes away. Whatever that may be. We impede a sense of independence from a young age because of the lives we were raised in. And it does contribute to our state of not asking because we were in just a state of being. And so, like, if you can't ask your parents, right, who can you really ask if you can't ask them? And so, yeah, it's very frustrating knowing that you need help and you can't ask for it. Now, not saying that we shouldn't find a way, because being burdened with that weight isn't healthy either. So it's like, we do have to find ways or tools or different things that we're doing to help us get there. So one of my things that I do is, if someone asks me how I'm doing, it depends on who's asking. If it's people that I love and trust in my family, in my circle, if they ask me how I'm doing, I give them the truth. I might not say the whole story. I might be like, I'm not too good today or whatever. I don't be like, oh, okay, all the time. I'm pretend I'm okay every day. So I'm no longer doing that. So that's my little thing of like, so people are aware, like, okay, she always okay. If she said like, me really feeling all of that today, usually people be like, okay, what's going on? Or, we might get into it, we might not. Sometimes I say like, what, I don't want to talk about it. I might tell Jah like, Jah, this happened, but me want to talk about it right now, just letting you know. Jah will be like, cool. But Jah already made a mental note to revisit me. If I don't come back to him in like 2-3 days, he'd be like, hey, Neci, what's going on? Like, you didn't give me an update. Everything good? You're doing better? Like, whatever it is. And so that's the kind of things we have to do, is look out for who we care for, the signs of things that when we know someone isn't their normal self, and just do a little bit like, hey, I see, you good. I can help you with something today, whatever. And we need to be more open to receiving and giving as well. So it's just a lot. It's a lot, and it's not something you're going to overcome today for tomorrow, but you have to continually work on it.
Darren had said, I don't like it thrown back in my face later on, which is
neither me. True. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, nobody likes it. That is my problem. I don't want people to throw it in my face. So how do we work past that, you think? Like, is it something where we need to kind of check who we deal with? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it we may need to test those in our lives to see who we can and can't trust these vulnerabilities with? So you get what I'm saying? Like, get them little tests, something to see if it comes back up later. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, when we said test, right? I think everyone should test their relationship, because that's really what it's about. Now, what length are you going to be manipulative? I hope that's not what you're doing. But sometimes you don't know how people are going to respond, right? People change, people grow, people, I could keep your secret for 10 years and something 10 years later make me say something that you told me, and then you feel like it's being thrown in your face, right? In that moment, it shouldn't have been said, of course not, but we can't control when someone's going to respond to us. What you have to do is forgive yourself to the point where I felt like they gave me enough information that I can trust them. And now I realize that the trust wasn't mutual on both ends. And so that's all you can do. Now, of course, it will limit you from sharing again. But what I will encourage you to do is just be more self-aware of whom you have around you. You can't keep picking from the same tree and expecting not to kind of have the same results consistently either, right? So you have to be willing to adjust yourself. Sometimes it might be you is the problem. Some of us don't like to admit that we is the problem, that we have problems with other people because we are a problem. And there's always the other person that's making a problem for us, and we're never part of the problem. But if you're always a common denominator, you're part of the problem. So even that, I've had to look at myself and be like, Neci, you is a problem. And these problems that you have with certain things, this is how you contribute to those problems. And so I'm a very self-aware person, so I can do that. But some people don't even want to acknowledge that they can contribute to the problems that they have. And that's why some of them is in the same rotation constantly.
And there's no growth. Those people
exactly
tend to be stuck. One thing I'd like to add on to that is keep in mind the relationship. Take into account the relationship, who's bringing it up, because sometimes, you know, we could take things as an attack when we need to register. This is someone that I know loves me. They've shown me that they care about me. Let me listen to what they're saying, because it's not all the time that somebody brings up something from before that they're actually like throwing it in your face. They could be bringing it up to show you, this is a pattern that I've noticed in your life. It could be something that we need to, you know, deal with, because it keeps happening. So it's not all the time that somebody brings something up that it's an attack on you. There are patterns that we may need to break that we don't see for ourselves, because the eye can't see itself. Sometimes that people that are nearest to you, they see it, they recognize it, and now they're trying to bring it up so you could recognize it too, because you can't move past it unless you address it.
Exactly. And you're right, everything isn't an attack. Sometimes you might feel attacked, but they're not attacked. You have to know who the person that you're speaking with to know where they're coming from. Now, I'll give you a good example. I don't feel like Jada attacked me. Y'all see how Jada attack? Y'all can imagine how Jada attacked me behind the scenes? Now, you know, on a normal day, it's fine. But if I'm in an emotional state, like if something bothering me, I'd be like, oh God, I got attacked the job, but I know he gonna rough me up. But I know it's coming from a good place.
Yes.
And so you have to know who you're talking to as well. And you have to know the intention and be able to hear the words and not how you feel about the words. Because sometimes we just go to how we feel and then we want to change the conversation and we never really resolve what we're discussing in the first place. So it's important to hear what the person is saying and try to digest it to see the point of view. Because sometimes you don't see yourself properly even when you look in the mirror.
Right.
Someone has to show the reflection of you for you to see it in a different way, for you to analyze yourself and be like, that couldn't have been me. And it was you.
See? Yeah, sometimes that person is your mirror. And sometimes, I'll admit too, sometimes I won't come to her because I know what she's going to say already. So I just need to do this. Then I'll come with the end result. Like, it's good to have a person that's a mirror to you, because they're going to put it up in your face whether you like it or not. So a lot of people like that tend to have not a lot of friends, because they're not well liked. Like, because they put that mirror up to your face and they're unapologetic about it. But though, in all honesty, we all need at least one of those.
Agree. Because the people who said they don't need no friends is one of those. And I'd be like, man, you can't hang if you don't need nobody. Like, everybody needs someone for whatever it is. And so that's always a scary topic for me when people say that they don't need no friends.
Darren says, I'm the youngest from my father and I got the least support of all his kids. Jessica came right back with the youngest are evil. I remember the times I was promised that stuff would be given or sent. I was lied to constantly. It taught me some bad lessons. Because of it, rarely asked for help, and I'd rather do it on my own. Good evening, Tessa. I know you've been on for a little bit because we've been talking, but what we've been discussing is those who have trouble asking for help and what it may be behind it. I'm the youngest and only child all at the same time.
Right.
Man, me like Hawaii, making me seem like a pariah. And moving on. Youngest and the only. All right. Jessica says, wait, he married to a woman? Never mind. We're talking about the pastor guy who was But sometimes, you know, they be messing up. I'm that way. I run a medical office and I do it all for this reason. People be tripping. Let me know if y'all need me to run that clip back again if you didn't see it. Being successful is not helpful to the cause. I know how to get it done. I'm an eldest whose mom was disabled for 7 years, a perfectionist and a single mom. I am, and I can do it myself. Problem. She recognizes that she's the issue. I was raised this way. Tessa, I raised myself this way. That happens too. I'm the youngest of the eldest. Y'all just making up things now. Y'all making up position. It felt like a
I
boot
think
camp.
she's saying she's the youngest of the oldest sibling, meaning she's the youngest for her parent, but her parent is the oldest sibling. That's how I read that.
Okay, all right. I was like, wait, what? It felt like a boot camp, trying to keep up with my older sibling in terms of life choices and successes. So that's another. We're gonna talk about this on another show. Sibling rivalry. As the oldest, I didn't feel no need to compete at all. But I've noticed younger siblings, they have that spirit in them, man, to compete. And they'll be like, wait, what do you mean you got there first? I didn't know we were racing. You know what I'm saying, man? We're gonna have to talk about that one. My father was big on do it yourself. I don't divulge my truth too often. I hump it, pause, and knock it out. That's why we should have a furniture assembly party. I love it when the single ones get together. Siobhan, yes, because we can talk on this. I'm so big on self-reliance. I need some blunts and some wine, I see. Those are people you can't trust. I think you have to observe and decide. I recently tested someone and I realized that I'm not as important as they said I was. Blank hurts my feelings big time. Beefy Santa Cruz, but some people are good at being deceptive.
True.
So then you have to be better at being discerning.
True. Mm-hmm.
It's okay to cut people off, you know. I think we can share space with most people, but we as individuals can do better. And recognizing when we can't handle something our friends shares with us. Holding space anyone can do, but referring to a professional who can help as a friend is still okay. That's true. That's facts. Reflection is important. Mm-hmm. Can we talk about the people that have zero sense of self-reliance now? We can. That would be another episode.
Are we attacking you, Siobhan? Are you feeling attacked? I wouldn't attack you. I just want to make sure if you're feeling that, you know?
Did she deflect a little bit? Is that what happened? Definitely got to genuinely check on your strong friends. We are at a point where we can't tell certain people everything because of the problem of it being thrown back in your face. And I had a video for that too. Yes, true. You can't expect yourself out of others. That's a fact. Most people can share anything with me and be vulnerable with me. I recognize within myself when I can't handle something or I'm not equipped to handle it, but I can support you in getting you the help you need, even if it isn't with me. Kita, yes, there are some very deceptive and manipulative people. I know that too well, and paint an image to people too. Heavy on everything is not an attack. Someone that loves you will help you to improve. Neci, I see it. Which part you see? What we done? I have a friend like this, not cry on all. He does beat me up verbally. you need it. You need it though. Sometimes you need it, man.
I want to talk about she see because she see my example for you. Like maybe it's what you see.
She could see me doing that.
The example I gave about you, maybe.
We ain't gonna pretend like that don't go both ways, all right? I'm an observer.
I spoke on my behalf. You could speak your own truth. I'm just saying.
I'm an observer and I check the vibes before divulging any information. Too many lessons learned with people throwing things back in my face. I'm the oldest child. It's a lot of pressure and responsibility, and when I need help, I'm on my own. It's facts. I refrain from asking for help only because I feel like the weight of it or my pain won't be safe with you. Ooh, that's deep.
Yes, that weight, yes.
That's deep. Yeah, it's facts. It's facts. And we gotta be careful too, you know, because like it's an energy transfer. We gotta be careful not to just be dumping on people. It is an energy transfer. That is negative energy that person is taking from you. If they care about you, when you tell them something that's bothering you, it'll bother them. So we gotta be careful with that. Yes. Eldest is eldest. I have no rival. He talking to Kita. My brother is like that. I'm finding safety in family and people that are open and vulnerable too. Yes, it's you, Neci. I'm sure Jah makes you not cry. She don't cry, right? She don't cry. She just don't like it. She just don't like it.
He's very rude.
No, I mean, the thing about me, I talk to people the way I want you to talk to me. I want you to be straightforward with me So then I don't have to second guess what you're saying. It's easy. Like, how many times I tell you, just say what you mean. Like, just please point to me as simple and concise as possible. All this extra flowery words, and so that's how I give it. People don't like that.
I don't at times.
People do not.
But I get it.
Yeah, they get like oof.
Like a good example would be sometimes I chase around the bush. I know it.
Facts.
It's not my intention. Sometimes in my mind, I already feel like I've already answered your question and you know how I'm gonna answer you. And the other Jah was like, it was a while after he texted me, he was like, Neci, can you just answer my questions yes or no? I would appreciate it. Thanks. And I was like, I mean, I said some words. I won't repeat here. But I was like, okay. I could see he was frustrated and he waited a moment and then he came back with his little sentence so I could be like, just answer my question yourself. I don't have time to He's like, I don't have time to decipher what you're trying to decode. Just tell me yes or no.
Look, that's not me. That's rude. That to me, I think that was very respectful because if I listen, I will ask this girl, Neci, are you going to
I could imagine where you started from and how you worked your way down to that. I know there was a process down.
Yeah, I had to find it.
You found it.
Because if I ask you, are you going to be on the show today? You know what Neci to do? He will ask me 16 questions, right? So what time? Who are going to be on there? What we talking about? So after I don't answer all the questions, I don't forget that I started this. So now I gotta go back. Neci, are you gonna be on the show?
And it'll be like, but I asked, I tell you yeah, and I'll be like, no, I didn't say yeah. Let me go back.
You did not say yes, not at all. The word yes never came up.
But what I find though, I do that a lot, and I'm trying not to because I used to be like constantly interrogated in a like where you going, who you gonna be, like not like in a loving way, but in a very like controlling, manipulative way. And so I've just like, since I've like left that situation, I've been very vague, and everything doesn't need to be that way. So I'm also like, I'm aware. So if you point it out to me, and I'll be like, oh, I'm doing it, and I just need to autocorrect. But in that moment, when you came back like 10 minutes later, I was like, oh, he had to find himself, and this is where and it wasn't nice, but I knew you worked your way down here. I appreciated it. I knew you was upset too. I was like, I could just see the steam and the words. I'm glad it wasn't a voice note either, but it was just some steam. I could feel it.
Neci, it's time to travel. I know
it is a vacation, right? I need a vacation again.
Correct. One. What are you talking about?
Correct. I like that she looking out for my mental health.
Whatever. Therapy-led support groups is great, and professional help is necessary too. Working on
Agreed.
I've come to the point that I'm okay with keeping my business to myself without being judged or backstabbed. It's hurtful that I can carry everyone's burden and be their safe place, and I got to side-eye them because I get cliche answers like, girl, that could never be me. Damn, you good?
But that's a problem. How are you everyone's safe space, but you can't trust none of that you're keeping the safe space for? Yeah. That is an issue. Yeah. And so, and I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong or your friends are wrong or you're wrong. I'm just saying the scenario, like I'm keeping space for everyone, but none of them I feel can keep my space. There's a disconnect in that. In that.
That's true. And I think that comes from being the strong one, right? Mm-hmm. Being the strong one that puts you in a space to where everybody always looks at you as strong. They don't see you any other way. And okay, here's the thing. Accountability time. Can you be upset with your friends for seeing you as the strong one if that's what you put on every time you're in their face? Can you blame someone for taking you as is? This is who I see. She's always been the strong one. He's always coming around. He's always being strong. Every time I see him, he said nothing wrong. Can you get
and
mad?
You check on them. Yep, you check on them. What's going on? Are you good? And it's always, yeah, I good, I safe, everything.
Exactly.
It's never.
So can you blame? I won't say there's nothing to blame, because after you've been friends after a certain amount of time, you kind of could tell something's off.
Yes.
But can you blame them fully? Isn't a part of that on you? You know what I'm saying? For feeling like you need to be the strong one all the time. You can't get mad at somebody for accepting that.
Yes.
I straight, Jah know. Because being vulnerable, right? A lot of people think being vulnerable is being physically naked. No, the real vulnerability is exposing those sides of yourself to people.
Yes.
I was supposed to take a nap a while ago, but it got me interested. That's good. That's good. I mean, the conversation going. I'm glad like we good at this.
Why you acting like you don't want to be here?
Nigga, like, we don't do this for real. Like, come on, man. But with that said, we got a video for you.
And this a reminder to make sure y'all check on y'all strong friend. The one that always come through for you, the one you always call when you going through something. Check on them. Because they be going through their own stuff. They go through silent battles that don't nobody know about. That they feel like they can't talk about because they the strong one. Check on them from time to time. Take them some food. Or some wine or some water or something. And sit down with them. Sometimes your presence can mean everything. All right. All right. And this a reminder.
You see what she said, right? Checking on isn't necessarily like it don't have to be no long talking.
No.
Sometimes you just being there physically says a lot.
Yes. Agreed. But you can't be as a strong friend. I don't ask my friends to check. The people I ask to check on me, I don't deceive them I don't deceive them when they come to check on me. And that's where I think because if someone's checking on you, even if they're just coming to be in your space, so just so you know that they're there, you have to allow yourself to receive it.
Correct.
So that person knows that, okay, you don't want to talk about it, but me being here is helpful or helping, or it's adjusting your mood in the moment. You have to give that person some type of indication that these little things mean something to you, that you don't want to discuss, but it's helpful. Because if a person doesn't know, then they're going to keep trying to do things and they won't know what you need. So you have to be able to either express or, show them that this is appreciative, that I see you, it meant something to me, even just a thanks, whatever it is, like whatever that may be that you have to do to say like, hey, I appreciated what you just did, despite you not asking me any questions.
This is one of those different strokes for different folks type of thing. You have to kind of understand your friend and recognize how and like at what stage are they at. Because some people, if you just hold them, that helps. Some people don't like to be held. You just being in the space. Maybe sometimes all they want to do is talk about everything but what the issue is, and that will help them. Because they overthink. And they don't want to think about that right now. You really need to lock in. If you have friends, get to know them for real. Because I to this day, I don't understand how grown people be having 30, 40, 50 people they call friends in. That seems exhausting. How do you have that many friends? Because when I use it, I mean that's my friend for real. Like I mess with them for real. I know them for real. Not, we went to school together, in high school, and Jessica says, you nail it, Jah. I've always come off as a strong one, but at the same time, ask the question if I am okay. Man, strong friend here that nobody checks on. I felt this. It comes from they thinking I always got it together. I can blame myself to an extent, because to an extent, it shows that they don't really care. I can blame them to an extent because they're asking, how are you? But it's just a formality for them so they can get on with what they really want to talk about. That happens,
That does.
That happens. That's a fact. That people ain't really interested in what you're going to say. They just needed an opener.
Yeah.
And you
you
know
have
how
to know the difference. You gotta decide. You gotta like if I need I don't want to say something roughing up. Like I go to Jah. Like if I need a reality check, like Jah, Jah, just tell me yes or no. And Jah will be like, he don't ask me what the question is. He don't ask me what's going on, what it's about. I'd be like, and he just would answer me and tell me what I need to hear. And now I have friends that I can go to for other things if I want to just have like a, one. I mean, I can get it from Jah too. I don't want to make it seem like I can't. But you have to know who's feeding what into you and what is being returned. And so that's very important to do, to decipher it. Are you coming to me because you see I'm in need? Or because some people might even notice that you're in a need. They come to ask you, are you good? So they're making sure you're good before they burden you with what they have going on, not knowing that you might not be good at all. So it's a lot. It's a continual evolving thing because friendships have different personalities. People have their own needs. You have your own as well. We all have our own mental internalization of what's happening and who means what to us and how impactful this is and blah, 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 blah. So just be patient with yourself and the people you care about.
Tessa says I'm big on girls' night at my place for this reason. Creating safe spaces, that's part of it.
Correct.
Or more important, do you want to be looked at as someone they can't rely on in terms of weakness? That's a factor too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're scared to show your vulnerability because they may look at you as less than the strong one. Some people hate to show weakness or vulnerability in front of others. That's trauma. That's a response from past trauma. You've been hurt before, so now you're afraid to show any weakness or vulnerability because you have your guard up. Mm-hmm. When last someone brought food or just pulled up when I go into somebody check on Darren, please.
Please. It's not me, but please, somebody.
Jesus. Places are needed.
Agreed.
I had my safe spaces shrunk over the past couple of years. Sometimes I'm unsure if somebody's going through something or if they're about to pull away. So is that a fear from you too of losing people because you've lost people because that's a thing that I've been dealing with. I told Neci, what I'm saying, like I don't even want to meet new people. Because I've been losing so many people. It's like, we might as well skip the friendship phase. I'm good with my circle. At this point, I abandoned the concept of having best friends, and I'm close to not having close friends. Too many like thumbs. I'm sorry to hear that.
I am too.
I'm sorry to hear that. And honestly, some people are ungrateful. When they're down and you helping, it's all good. When they're up, you can't hear or see them. That's the thing. People don't really know how to be a friend. I think Otis has said that you can't expect you from other people, man, because that's what we'll be looking for. We create safe spaces because we didn't have it, but that ain't why everybody else, that ain't how they don't move. And how deep this thing really gets as far as being the strong one and not knowing how to ask for help. It's gotten so bad that I realized in my older age. I have trouble accepting compliments because of it. I have trouble receiving gifts. All of that stuff makes me want, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like it literally makes me uncomfortable getting complimented. And that's something that I've been working on so much. Because just receiving the good things, when you're always the one giving and doing and sacrificing, it can make you feel uncomfortable. You don't know what to do when you're receiving. Because you're always in the giving phase. That's how deep this thing to get in your mind, man. And people, we really need to work on it. Like, I know in this day and age, we tend to glorify being savages. And what that goes back to, for real, is you can't get your heart broken if you're a beast. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're a savage and you're the one breaking hearts, you can't get hurt. But as we get older, we kind of need to start working on those things. Once you recognize them, it's up to you in order to grow, to start working on those issues that you have, not expecting other people to just accept them. Alcina, what are you saying? You can't look for you in someone else. You're going to be disappointed every single time. Every time. Yes, you're right, Jah. I also learned someone's being there for you 100% might be your version of 50%. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Because
Hey,
everybody comes in different sizes. And I think I spoke to Jah about it the other day, like somebody could be giving you the 100%, but it's not enough because you're in a bigger capacity than they are, and it doesn't sustain. So it could be they're giving you 100% of whatever they have, but it's not sufficient for you. And so you have to accept people for where they are and what their capacities are.
that I think also comes along with knowing your people. You know what I'm saying? Getting to know where they fit. Not everybody, you can't try to make people that are not on that, you know, fit into your life the way you want to. Sometimes you just gotta accept that this is who this person is, and this is where I don't think it's a bad thing to compartmentalize sometimes.
I get accused of it being a bad thing all the time.
It's different. It's different. It's different when you do it.
How? We're gonna talk about this offline because I don't
Hey, we gonna have to find a time to talk about the sibling rivalries. Thank you guys for showing up, man. We appreciate you. This was another great episode. Please tell people about a different day with Jah and Neci so we could keep our jobs. All right, go ahead and share the lives. Let her know. Streaming on the #1 station in the U.S. Virgin Islands every Sunday from 4 to 6. Show up next Sunday. We're going to be right here with more great topics, local, national news, trending topics, same way, same place, same day. It's different for Neci because she's a Virgo. He almost made it the whole 2 hours.
Down to the last 5 minutes. Wow.
You flushed it down the drain, dude. You almost made it without talking about a Virgo for one full episode. Look at you. Shame. Damn.
He might be the problem after all. It might not even be the Virgos.
Man. The governor is a Cancer. The governor is a Cancer. Govy is definitely one of your people. Gabi. This man, we were right there.
Almost. We're wrapping up.
Damn. I was rooting for you too. Did you tell I wanted you to win? Damn. Where was I? Follow Same Difference at Same Difference 2022 and or on TikTok at same_difference_pod. The YouTube is at VI_very_own. Let us know if you would like to donate to the show. We have a PayPal so we could grow, get better guests, and do more damage. That we're doing great. We're working on it. The experience is there. We're just trying to grow, get the content better, the production up, and everything like that. We thank you. We love you guys for coming through. On the YouTube, right? It's important that y'all subscribe because on the YouTube page, you can still watch the full episodes. These included the different day episodes also because Facebook, they will no longer be keeping live videos past 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. You can always watch the full episodes there, though. What else? Here's an episode from the last Same Difference. Coming up Wednesday, we got a member of TBMG, the Beach Music Group, the Whim Collective. Neci ain't on the rap thing, but listen, I've been listening to Whim Tree on repeat. Go listen to Whim Tree. I think Dijon should be president. It's a dope rap album. VI rap album. And we're going to have a member of TBMG. We didn't lock down which one because we got another member of TBMG the following Wednesday on the 16th. Both will be on at 8 p.m. hour. And then on the 10th, Thursday at 8 p.m., we have Kita is coming on. Kita Polian. She's been in the chat. Kita, a.k.a. Kita on the track. She has an album coming out, and we're going to talk about that album release. All right? We also got to get Jassy back on the pod because he was talking about, we need to do a part 2. Part 1, his internet was messing up, so we're gonna redo it. We're going to redo it. If you don't know what Same Difference we're doing, here's what we did last week with former Senator Nellie O'Reilly.
Do I have a minute?
Of course,
30 seconds?
Take as much time as you want.
Listen, this is how it went. I landed. It was raining. I got wet once I was walking off the plane. I go to the bathroom at the airport, and there's no paper, and there's water everywhere, and the stalls are broken, and the toilet seats are dirty. Then I go to the baggage claim, and it's dark, and there's flies, and there's people picking up their luggage, and the cocktail booth was sticky with rum that had not been cleaned. And then I drag my suitcase across the broken parking lot, get in my car, and I try to pay at the gate, but it's pouring rain and there's no shelter. And the lady in the booth, she doesn't want to get wet, and I don't want to get wet. And she doesn't have any change. I'm like, well, can you take a credit card? And I was literally driving out of the airport, and then there are no stripes. A nicely paved road, but no stripes. I'm thinking, this can't be happening in like my first 15 minutes back on island. That experience was horrible. That triggered that post, and the rest is history.
Yeah. All right, so that was our last episode. Doing very well. Y'all need to go check it out. It's on the YouTube as well.
I understand why she made that post now, without question.
Yes. So
I was frustrated listening to her.
What was going on? The senator had put out a post that went viral, as you know, about Virgin Islanders moving back, and a lot of people didn't think she was genuine. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I love her to death. Sometimes she be coming out a little delulu about her plans, right? But she made it clear after she told the story of what happened that led up to the post, and when she relayed them details, yeah, I could see it. Going through the airport during the rain, and yeah, it'll definitely make you scream out for help. I could see why she did that. It's unfortunate, but yeah, she's right. That'll be the experience. And it does not matter who you are. Them thing will humble you. You could be a celebrity. Imagine we've had celebrities come through that same airport and they having that experience. I'm ready for the fish fry. In case you've been seeing this push number 66.
If I don't stop this nonsense.
There's an inside joke going on. Number 66 is Neci's number for when she runs for senator. Push number 66, that's what we're talking about. You got any final words, man? Let's go ahead and get out of here.
I appreciate y'all so much. And thanks for being vulnerable with us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for participating. We rock with you guys, and you guys rock with us, and we appreciate it.
Definitely. Don't forget, you can still tune in to 101.3 Raw FM on the TuneIn app as well as on your station. And then we have the Raw FM Plus, which we stream to. That's always available too. Number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We thank you guys for showing up. Please, please, please tell people about us. Go ahead and share the live. Let them know what's going on so they could go ahead and join the conversation. The more people coming in, the better the engagement is going to be. Y'all see how the chat will be lit. Imagine with more and more people, all right? Love you both. Love you too. Love you too. Make the t-shirt, push number 66. See it coming true. It coming true. I just got to find the right picture on that t-shirt coming.
You put my face on any t-shirt with number 66 on it, right? That mean you'll follow. You'll follow.
Because you know that they're going to sell out. Hey, I going to put a fish fry thing on. You
done? Say goodbye to the people. You done?
No, I reckon, hey, it's lit. Push number 66. This has been another episode of A Different Day with Jah, eh? Say it, man. We love you. We out.